You will not do it. It is na beans, my friends. So, my advice to all who know me is always use your brain. After Painted Wolf and I broke my closest friend Rex Huerta from federal custody, we took the first train out of Boston and headed for New York. I will tell you, I was very anxious. I was sitting, in the very literal sense, on my own future. The jammer, the piece of machinery I believed would save my family and my dear Akika village, was just under my seat. My father told me at an early age that there is only one way to ensure you do not lose your most prized possessions. You must always have one hand on them. And so it was that I kept my hand on the jammer for the brief time we were on that commuter train. Yet as this train rounded a bend and slowed to a manageable 15 miles an hour, we pulled the emergency release on the hydraulic doors and jumped out into the mid-morning cold. One of my favorite concepts in physics is the first law as conceived by Sir Isaac Newton. It is very simple to understand, and yet that is why it is so elegant. Simplicity is always the hardest skill to master. The first law is this: an object that is in motion will continue in motion at the same speed and in the same direction unless it is acted upon by another force. In our case, the other force was the ground. I landed with the jammer slamming up against my back. Painted Wolf was the most graceful. Rex donned Socorro before he tumbled head over heels in the pea gravel just beyond the tracks. We were up and moving before we could feel the bruises. Our timing was excellent. Only a half-mile distant, we could see the by now familiar blue and red strobe lights of police vehicles. They were waiting for us at the next station. Seeing those cars instantaneously brought our actions into focus. The police wanted us, and we were running. Running! My friends, never in my life had I broken the law. I say this with confidence. I was an honest person, an upstanding member of my community. To break the law went against everything I believed, and yet, here I was. What we had done paled in comparison to the wrongs that had been committed against us. I no just did dive. My people, my entire village were in the crosshairs of a madman. Rex was ruined. His name synonymous with the greatest cybercrime of the 21st century. Painted Wolf was concerned for the well-being of her entire family. The cards were stacked against us, and the dealer was cheating. This is why we ran, my friends. We were desperate. We followed Painted Wolf from the train tracks toward a busy intersection where taxicabs whizzed by at incredible speeds. I assumed we might try to catch one. I was very wrong. There! She pointed to a bus packed with commuters at the station. Are you kidding? Rex blurted. We're still 42 miles from New York. They'll be looking for us running or on foot. Every cab on the street is going to get an alert. They'll be talking about us over the radio. We'll only get a few blocks, but no one is going to expect us to be on a bus. 1.1 The first step of any good escape plan is confusing your pursuers. We knew there was simply no way we could outrun the police and FBI. Not only were they highly mobile, but they also had access to every aspect of public transportation. Step onto a bus and they could see us from the driver's side mounted cams. Hide out in the subway, and we would be picked up by facial recognition software. Even walking down the street was fraught with peril, as the authorities had undertaken the highly unusual step of launching surveillance drones on U.S. soil. I tell you, Omoy, it was like we had stumbled into a war. But we were not without our resources, namely Painted Wolf. As we ran toward the station, she pulled out a cell phone and began typing. Painted Wolf typed for 3 city blocks as Rex and I shook with anxiety that we would be spotted. What are you doing? Rex asked her. We have to go, she said with a smile. Oh, my. We wove like vipers in tall...